This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
But the Mid-Atlantic Championship podcast wants to know what you remember about that crazy week where creatively it feels like a high when you guys are attacking Dusty, but then you find out that one of your brethren, boy, he's in a bad way. Same week.
Highest of highs and lowest of lows. When you're that age, I would have been probably, 27, 28, somewhere in there. I'm not sure. You think you're invincible. And when we did the thing with Dusty, you just, even the feel of riding in that Cadillac with the camera in there with us and having a reason for the camera guy to be in there with us, us strong arming him and threatening him into, hey, make sure you get all this, film all this, all that. It just felt good. And when we jumped on Dusty, you just knew that we had something that was different, that people were not going to appreciate the fact that 5 guys, beat the crap out of one guy in the parking lot. This is going to work because that guy was Dusty Rhodes, and they knew he was not going to stand for it long. And, there was going to be a reckoning, and there was. And I thought it was well done. But then you turn around and you wake up in the morning and I hear Rick's voice going, have you heard? Have I heard what? Magnum had a car wreck last night. He's in intensive care. I'm coming to get you. And we met those guys, JJ, Tully, and we met down at the hospital. Somebody sent the word up. They took us back through a back entrance, back elevator, like a service elevator, and took us up to his room. And I just saw him the night before. Big, robust, 255-pound, good-looking, strong athlete. And he's laying there with tubes running out of him. And he couldn't speak. He couldn't say anything. He just looked at us. And I'll never forget those teary eyes that he was looking at us with. And he knew, and we knew how serious it was. But in those days, you thought, well, hey, let him get a month here where he can just heal up a little bit and get back in the gym, and he'll be back in 6 months. We're all tough. He's tough. We're tough. He can overcome this, not knowing just how severe those injuries were. And it never got better. It only got worse. As time went on, it didn't get better. It just, when you finally realized this could be permanent, it's a hell of a reality check, and it's a hell of a wake-up call for your own mortality.
Boy, I don't know how to transition from that. Jeremy wants to know, I wonder if Arn had been in the company in 89, would a program with Rick and Arn have been better or worse than the program that Rick worked with Funk? You and I've sort of freestyled this before, that maybe it could have been fun to see you and Rick in this era. Of course, he's referencing when you were still over with the World Wrestling Federation and then coming back. But that could have been an interesting little turn of events, especially since with Funk, fresh off the heels of the Steamboat feud, they tried to turn Rick babyface and Funk was the heel. Would it have worked, you and Rick in 89? And if so, who would have been the heel?
I don't think it would have ever worked. I don't believe, and he may be an exception, the gentleman with the question. What's his name?
Jeremy,
it may be something that you enjoy, but I'll just put this food for thought out there because I was there for all of them. I don't think fans as a group, by and large, will buy the fact that a guy is fighting his brother, whether it be the Hardys fighting each other, the Steiners fighting each other. You can go back and look at any of the brother combinations or family members that I just don't think the audience would dial into the fact, well, hey, he's really going to break his brother's leg or break his arm or pop his shoulder out or anything like that. And I think people regarded Rick and I like brothers, and we were like brothers for a long time. And I just don't think they looked at us fighting each other and got into it to where they were really hey, 80% for this guy, 20% for the other guy. I just think as the angle we had, no matter when you would have done it, I don't think the audience would have bought into the fact that, hey, this guy will pop this guy's shoulder out if it means he can win the championship. I don't think that line of thought ever figured into a match. So I think you lose something on the credibility side. And maybe that's just me. Maybe the audience out there, and I hope they tell us, do you like brothers fighting? Do you buy into all those things? Because it's an interesting question. I just assumed what their slant would be, they being the audience. Maybe I'm way off.
Joseph says, back in the mid 80s, do you think Dusty was trying too hard to make himself look cool? He put himself with Magnum. He had Baby Doll as a valet. He briefly wore the paint with the Road Warriors. Watching old clips now, it seems like he was trying really hard to keep up with Flair and Tully's cool factor in this era.
No, I think he was smart. He was the biggest star in the company. And I think when you know that you're the biggest star in the company, you do everything you can do to continue to be the biggest star in the company. And I think when he aligned himself, like with the Road Warriors, it's after they had allowed us to get some heat on him. And he brought back those two guys the very first day in Philadelphia, which, as you can imagine, Dusty being painted up like the Road Warriors and us being in the ring waiting on them, and here they come busting through that door. It was a good move. If you'd have been in that ring with me, you'd have realized what a good move it was. I think Dusty was great at self-promotion, but most top baby faces are. They have to be. You have to have your ear on the ground and be aware of what the audience is wanting. And a lot of people are critical of Dusty's booking. The one thing, if you go back and check year after year, week after week, month after month, he let us go on TV and get heat. Wasn't on him all the time, but we would end up speaking about him. And he allowed us to be bullies on television and get our heat so that when we got to the arenas, people would pay to see us get our ass kicked. And that's a simple formula, but if you got the right players, it absolutely works.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.